Ooh, baby, it is hot in here. Someone turn up the AC because in this video, I am about to drop the heat and get your body temperature rising, blood pumping. I am about to drop one of the biggest secrets that we have in our business that's allowed us in just the last few months alone to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in new client revenue. And let me just tell you, I have tested many different sales funnels over the past 6, 7, 8 years in the health coaching space. I've tested them all, not all of them, but I've tested a lot. And this secret that I'm about to share with you, this secret funnel, is is probably the best one that I've found, and it's also one of the simplest ones that I've found. It's the easiest ways that you can scale your health coaching business. So whether you are a nutritionist, dietitian, PT, physio, it doesn't matter. As long as you're a health coach, this strategy is going to work so well for you. And I call it the DM ad funnel, and it is very simple. You've probably heard me talk about this a little bit in the past, but this DM funnel is not for everyone. So let me just preface this by saying, if you are from the UK, Europe, or Japan, do not use this funnel. It's not going to go well for you because you won't be able to track the results from your ads, and no one will be able to message you. You won't get anyone messaging you. Now my camera has disappeared, so I'm going to bring that back 1 second. Okay, we're back. And as I was saying, if you're in the UK, the Europe, or Japan, Facebook have privacy settings. Well, not Facebook, your countries have privacy settings that stop Facebook from being able to show results from these funnels. And also you won't be able to get messages because people can't get messages from a business account unless they follow you. So it means that if people come from an ad and try to start a conversation with you in your DMs, it's not going to work and you're just going to be throwing money away. So if you're from one of those countries, do not follow this funnel. I promise you it won't work out. Great. With that being said, if you are not in any of those countries or not trying to run ads in any of those countries, this is going to work swimmingly for you. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Here's how everything is going to look. First of all, we're going to make sure that we have all the prerequisites down pat. But I'm going to go through them in a second because this is how the funnel is going to look. We're going to have, let's shrink myself down there. We're going to have ads. And then from the ads, we're going to send people into your DMs. That's your Instagram DMs or your Facebook Messenger DMs. It doesn't matter. And you could probably even use this strategy on TikTok and send people into your TikTok DMs, for example. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to stick to meta ads, Instagram and Facebook. So ad to DM to booking them in for a sales call. Simple. There is no simpler way to run ads than this, but you have to do it properly, otherwise it will not work. So before we start running our DM ads, here are a few prerequisites and things that we must do first. The first one is to create a Meta Business account and ad account. I'm not going to go through all of this in depth because that's not the purpose of this video. If you've never run ads before, then after this video, after you finish this video, go off into YouTube, go off into the online interwebs and search up how to create Meta Business account or Meta Ads account or whatever, and just set everything up first because I'm not going to show you how to do that. So prerequisite number 1, create a Meta Business account if you don't have one, and an ad account. Step 2, we're going to switch our Instagram account to a professional account if you haven't done so already, because that's going to allow you to run ads from your Instagram account. And then we're going to connect that Instagram account to our Facebook page, and first of all, create the Facebook page if you don't already have one, and then combine those two things together. The Instagram and Facebook account should be linked. And then, this is optional, we're going to set up a Facebook pixel. That's going to allow us to track future lead events and results from our ads, because if we're just spending money on ads and we can't see the results, then we're running blind. We don't know what's working, we don't know what's not working, and just like you, Meta's algorithm, Meta's AI thing that tracks results won't be able to see what works, and it won't be able to show more ads to more people who they think will convert because it doesn't have any data. So that's why it's important to set up a pixel. But, this is a big but, for the DM funnel, you don't have to set up any pixel. So if you're only going to do this DM funnel and no other ad funnels, then don't worry about setting up a pixel right now because everything happens within Meta's universe. Everything will happen in the DMs and on Messenger. So Meta will be able to track results for you. That's why I say it's optional. And with that out of the way, let's jump on to how this is going to work. As I said before, we're going to create an ad on Facebook or Instagram and send people into your DMs. We're going to get into a conversation with them. We're going to ask a few questions back and forth, qualify them as a good prospect, gain their trust. And once that's been done, then we're going to book them in for a sales or a discovery call, whatever you like to call your free consultations. And if you don't already have them, make sure you introduce them, because you're going to be able to sell much higher ticket programs, $1, $2, $3, $5, $10,000 programs, only if you have that free sales call. If you try and get people to buy a consult with you or without speaking with you first, it's just not going to work. Trust me on that. I've tried it, spent many years trying it, not years, but many months trying it and testing all these different things. It doesn't work. Just have a sales call. Okay, here's what the ad is going to look like. This is just one example. You can create videos, you can create other images, you can create anything you want, but this is just a simple example of something that you can whip up in Canva or any other photo editing tool really, really quickly. So it's just an image. This is an AI generated image. Probably better to get an image of you or an image that you've taken. AI generated images, some people have the ick to them and they won't respond well to them. Other times AI generated images can do really well. So test it yourself. But here's what we're going to do. I'm looking for a specific number of a specific kind of person who want a specific result. DM me the word, whatever the word is, for more info. So that might look like I'm looking for 3 women who want to completely stop binge eating. So that's 3 women, that's your specific number of specific people, women, who want a specific result is to completely stop binge eating. And then DM me the word binge for more info or to learn more. Don't worry about getting the language exactly correct here. You can take this framework and apply it in any way you want to apply it. This specific person that you're looking for is your customer avatar. So if you help let's say older men with back problems, I'm looking for 3 60+ men. That doesn't make sense. I'm looking for 3 older men who struggle with back pain and want to completely eliminate back pain from their life. DM me the word back, DM me the word pain for more info. Something like that. You just apply whatever niche it is that you're in to that ad example. Another example that I have is more of an offer-based example where you call out to your ideal target audience. So you can see struggle with binge eating. People who struggle with binge eating will stop the scroll if they're scrolling through their stories on Instagram or on Facebook or wherever, on Reels, it doesn't matter. You will stop the scroll if you call out to that person. And the more specific the call out, the better the results will be. So if you say, hey, are you trying to lose weight? That's not going to perform anywhere near as well as if you said, hey, are you a recent mum who's struggling to lose her baby fat or struggling to lose weight after having a child? That is going to perform so much better if that is your customer avatar that you're going after. So be specific with your call out and you will get better results and higher quality leads from these ads. So number 1, we're going to call out to our ideal audience. Number 2, we're going to have an offer. And that offer might be, I help women to stop binge eating or they don't pay. That's what we say here. It could be, if we take that, helping mums to lose weight, it can be, I help new mums to lose weight or they don't pay. I help new mums to lose weight guaranteed, or I'll continue working with them for free until they do. Just an offer. And it has to be a strong offer, something that will catch their attention, because how many other people help other people to lose weight, help women to lose weight, help men to lose weight? So you have to stand out, and that's what your offer is going to do in this ad. Now, this is just one ad example. As I showed you before, there are different examples. You don't have to take that offer approach. There are many different ways you can attract people into your world, but just a simple, easy, simple way to create an ad that converts is to call out to your ideal audience, have a really strong offer, not some weak sauce, a really strong offer, and then a call to action at the end. DM me the word binge to learn more. And as I said earlier, this can also be done in video format. You don't have to do this as a photo. You can pick up your phone, your little camera, and just record saying exactly what it says here. Hey, are you a female struggling with binge eating? Then blah, 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 blah. You get the point. And that are those are just 2 simple frameworks. So I'm looking for a specific number, a specific person who wants a specific result. That's it. Or call out your ideal audience, say your offer, and then call to action. You can use that and you can change the wording. You can create video forms. You can do heaps of stuff with that. And then after you've got those ads working, then and only then can you get a bit more creative with your ads and try new things. But I promise you, those 2 frameworks are proven frameworks that will work for you if you apply them correctly. And applying them correctly means having a good customer avatar that actually needs what you want to sell. So you're calling out to a good person. And number two, having a really good offer that actually works and converts. Those two things, if you do those two things, these two ad formats or ad templates will work really, really well for you. Once we've gotten them to click on the ad, they've come into our DMs on Facebook Messenger or Instagram DMs, then we get into a conversation with them. So they're going to send the keyword binge or energy or back pain or whatever your keyword is. And then as soon as possible, you're going to jump into the conversation and say, hey, Philippa, hey, whatever the name is, thanks for reaching out. Just for context, I'm going to put it on American accent so you can differentiate between when I'm reading out stuff and when I'm myself. Hey, Philippa, thanks for reaching out. Just for context, can you give me a quick summary of your problem, whatever the problem is? So let's say it's back pain. Just for context, can you give me a quick summary of the back pain you're experiencing? And ultimately, what's your goal here? And so you're leaving a really open-ended question for them to be like, yeah, I've been struggling with back pain for the last 5 years. I was a professional golfer for 15 years and it just ruined my back and now I can't even play golf and blah, blah, blah. So you're leaving an open-ended question for them to respond to. And then what we're going to do is wait for their response. And then based on their response, we're going to respond in a personalized manner. We're not going to use templates for now. Eventually, when you know what people say and regularly respond with, you might have 2 or 3 templates that you might send out to people and might need to customize them a bit. But to start with, we want to customize every message we send out to make sure that it's going to seem human and authentic. So that might look like if they say what I said before about, hey, I've been playing golf. I'm a professional golfer for 20 years. I got back pain. Then you might be like, oh man, I'm really sorry to hear that. I also was a golfer for 10 years and that's one of the roots of my back pain as well, but I managed to overcome it. I've also helped 50 other, I'm meant to be in my American accent right now. I've also helped 50 other people overcome it as well, so I know what you're going through. Can you tell me a little bit more about what you've tried to fix this back pain in the past few years? And then that's like the follow-up question that you would ask. And then they would jump into being like, oh yeah, I've tried X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. And so then you might ask 1 or maybe maximum 2 additional follow-up questions after that. And if they are qualified, if you do think you can help them, that's when you would pitch the call. So then you would transition to saying, honestly, Philippa, I'd love to chat more and see if I can help you to fix that back pain. What's your schedule looking like over the next couple of days? I can also drop my calendar link here in brackets, might be easiest. I would recommend sending the I can also drop my calendar link here message after that first message. So send the from honestly to days section here as one message. And then the second follow-up message straight away, I can also drop my calendar link here, might be easiest. Because we want to reduce that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We want to just show someone, the more back and forth that you have, the more likely that person is to drop off and never respond to you again. So we want to empower them to book themselves in, and that's going to reduce the amount of back and forth of trying to arrange a time, a day, blah, 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 scheduling conflicts. They're just booking themselves in and answering the questions that you might have, the pre-qualifying questions that you might have on your booking form. Maybe you ask about their profession, their income, whatever, doesn't matter. But it's a bit awkward about if you ask that back and forth in the chat, which is why I like to send them the calendar link, then book them in for a sales call. I'm going to walk you through how to set all of that up, how to create the conversation flow, how to create the ad in a minute, but a few extra tips I wanted to go through before then is to jump into that conversation ASAP. So as soon as you get a lead, as soon as they respond to an ad and type in the keyword, whatever that keyword is, binge, back pain, energy, weight loss, whatever, as soon as they send that keyword, we need to be in that conversation responding to that lead as soon as possible. Do not leave it 10 minutes. Do not leave it 20 minutes. Do not leave it 3 hours, because as soon as you start doing that, the likelihood is that you're never going to hear from that prospect again. You've just hit them with an ad in that moment when they're feeling emotional, in that moment when they're at their greatest pain, and you've triggered some kind of emotional response, enough to get them to respond to your ad. And then if you're slow to get in touch with them, that moment's gone. So you have to be in that chat as soon as possible. I can't stress that enough. And if you work a full-time job, a part-time job, or are super busy on client calls all day, then what you need to do is set up an AI bot that you have responding to people automatically. It's not that hard to do. I know it sounds a bit overwhelming, like, ooh, AI bots, that sounds complex. But if you just go on YouTube and type in how to create AI bot to respond to Instagram messages, then you'll get walked through it, and you can connect your Instagram, and whenever people send a message, you can train your bot to book sales calls in for you and send a link and ask follow-up questions and all that stuff. That's going to take a heck of a lot of stuff off your plate. But early on, if you have the time, I'd recommend doing it yourself before you get an AI bot to do it for you. Okay, got it? Jump in ASAP. The second extra tip I have for you is to follow up 2 or 3 times if they stop replying mid-conversation. So if they've sent the keyword through and you've asked 1 or 2 follow-up questions, maybe you've sent the booking calendar link through for them to book a call, but they haven't done so yet, you might respond to them the next day and just say, hey, just bumping this up. And then 2 days later, you might send another message being like, hey, just one final follow-up. Are you still interested in fixing that back pain we talked about? Question mark. Something like that. And one little underrated hack is, as a final follow-up message, you can just send a GIF or a GIF, however you say it. Just a little funny GIF like, I'm waiting over here, or like, where did you go? Something funny that's going to make them laugh and show that you are a human. That works really well as a follow-up message that you can use. The third extra tip I have is to use the engagement objective in Facebook. I'm going to walk you through what that means in a second. But basically, you tell Facebook what you want. Do you want sales? Do you want leads? Do you want website traffic? And Facebook will optimize its ads to give you as many of those things as possible. So in this case, we want as many DMs or messages as possible. And to do that, we use the engagement objective. But once again, I will show you what I mean in a live demo in just a couple of minutes. The final extra tip I have for you is to spend at least $20 a day, minimum. If you're spending less than $20 a day, your ad results are going to be very, very, very subpar. So obviously spend what you can afford to lose. If you have $200 in your bank account, maybe it's not right to spend $50 a day. You'd be broke in 4 days. But the less you start with, the slower everything's going to be. The slower you're going to get data. The slower Facebook's algorithm is going to find the best buyers for you. So the more you can spend, the better. We spend anywhere from probably $300 a day to $500 a day, depending on the time of the year and how much availability we have. Sometimes we'll spend more than that if we have a lot of availability, need to take on more clients. Sometimes we'll spend less than that. I don't actually know what we're spending right now. I'll show you in a second, but we fluctuate depending on how many available client spots we have. And I'm not saying you have to start with $200-$300 a day, of course not. You can start with $30, $40, $50 a day. That's totally fine. But spend what you have to lose. All right, let me show you. Time for the demo. How do I get out of here? Let's go into Ads Manager. You can see, all right, here we go. We're spending about $320 a day currently on ads for this funnel. And this is both a DM funnel. We've run heaps of funnels before in the past, but this is the DM funnel that I'm talking about. And oh, it looks like my internet's not working. All right, I'm going to pause this video, get my internet working, and then come back. Be with you in a second. All right, we are back. My internet is back, and I am ready to show you how to do this. So first of all, we're going to click the big green button that says Create, and that's going to create a new campaign for you. Then we're going to click the engagement objective. That's what I was talking about before. We have the different objectives here. We're going to click engagement because, as you can see, engagement is good for Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So we're going to use either Messenger or Instagram or both. And then we want to select the manual engagement campaign. It's just going to be easiest to customize everything the way you want to customize it. Call your campaign whatever you want. You can call it DM funnel. And then typically I like to put the country. I like to do 1 country per campaign. So you can see we've got one for Australia, one for the US. So let's say you are from New Zealand, you put NZ or whatever, just to let you know that that is for New Zealand. Then we have the campaign Advantage Plus campaign budget. We're going to turn that on. And that means that rather than having to set individual, what we call ad set budgets, where you might say, okay, for these ads, we want $10 towards them and $15 towards this ad and $20 towards this ad. That's a lot more manual work. And rather than doing that, we're just going to have one overall campaign budget that's going to distribute one budget across all of your ads, and it's going to find which ads are performing best and then distribute more budget to the best performing ads and less budget to the ads that aren't performing as well. That's why I like to use the Advantage Plus campaign budget. And let's say we're just going to set it to $50 a day. Set it at whatever you want, doesn't matter. And then we're going to proceed to the ad set level. Here, it's up to you whether you want to do Messenger, Instagram, or both. I like to leave it on Instagram because we have a couple of employees that just sit in our Instagram DMs responding to people who come through. So we don't have that on Facebook Messenger. So we just send everyone that we have to Instagram. So what we're going to do here is put tick manual destination and then untick Messenger. But once again, if you don't mind getting leads on Messenger and Instagram, then do both. But for us, it's just easier if we just only take leads on Instagram and not Facebook Messenger. And then what we're going to do is set an audience up. Now, a few ways you can do this, but I'd recommend keeping it somewhat broad, meaning don't narrow your audience down too much. So don't say, I want women between the ages of 21 to 23 who like horse riding and also like water polo. That's going to be a very niche subset of the market. And if you're targeting New Zealand, that might only be 10,000 people or something. So you want to keep the audience somewhat broad. Allow Facebook's AI algorithm to work out who your buyers are. That being said, if you're new to Facebook ads, you've never run a Facebook ad and your pixel, your Facebook's algorithm isn't seasoned, it doesn't know who your buyers are, then it might be worth giving it at least something to work off of. So if I'm targeting men, I'll go back to that example I used earlier, 60 plus men who have back pain in New Zealand. So we're going to set the location to New Zealand. We'll get rid of Australia. Bang. And this is audience controls. So audience controls are things that Facebook must listen to. So this is, Facebook's never going to show an ad to someone who doesn't live in New Zealand. And we can also add a few more options here. So I'm going to say if I want 60 plus, in Facebook's must control section, it's 25 is the minimum age. I'm going to set 25 as the minimum age because I'm targeting 60 pluses. And then what we can do is you can also, it's up to you what you want to do here, but we also exclude sales call bookers. So people who have booked a sales call in the past 180 days, we exclude them from seeing our ads because what's the point? They've already booked a sales call with us. They've already jumped on a phone or maybe they're a client of ours. You can do this, you don't have to, but if you're just getting started, don't worry about this. Don't exclude that custom audience. So just leave it as is. And then here is the Advantage Plus audience. I'd recommend leaving this on. Advantage Plus will show ads outside of your selected audience, meaning if I add a suggestion of, okay, we want 60 to 65 plus. So we have basically 60 plus, and I want males who, are interested in golf. There you go. That's my audience size of 106,000 people. 60 plus males who are interested in golf. And I'm telling Facebook, you can go beyond that audience. You don't have to just show ads to that. So you can start with that and then show ads to 45-year-old men who like golf. And that's Advantage Plus. I'd recommend using Advantage Plus. You don't have to use it, but if you wanted to be more strict and say, no Facebook, you are not allowed to show ads to anyone outside of that 60 plus year old male range who likes golf, then you can switch to original audience options and click original audience options here. And then if you set your audience options here, you can see that, it's already been automatically applied. So now Facebook's trying to force you to use their Advantage Plus setting. Now I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to have a drink of water so you don't have to watch that. All right, I'm back. I've had my drink of water. My throat is a bit dry. I'm recovering from a sickness right now. Okay, so Facebook looks like it's pushing out, forcing Advantage Plus on you. That's not going to change. From the point I make this video, they're going to force it on you. So you might just have to put up with your ads showing to people outside of this. If you do have a really strict setting, so maybe you only want to show your ads to men, then you can go into Facebook ads targeting settings I think it's in settings somewhere, you can Google it, and you can set audience controls and you can stop your ads from getting shown to any women, if that's what you want, or any men under the age of 60. But I typically have found that for most businesses, it's okay to leave Advantage Plus audience on. How do I go back to Advantage Plus? Anyway, you get the point. Just leave it on Advantage. Here we go. I find it best to just leave it on Advantage Plus and then recommend who you want Facebook ads to show your ads to start with. And if you have a seasoned ad account, then you can keep it really broad. So if you've already been running ads and spent a few $1,000s on ads, then you can just keep it broad, remove any interest, and just have men 50 plus, and that's a pretty broad audience there. And then if you're going to run ads to only your Instagram DMs, then you might want to show ads only on Instagram. But if you're going, this is optional. It's okay to send someone from Facebook Messenger to Instagram. I just found it's not as clean. So if you are only going to show ads to Instagram, then you can click manual placements and then untick Facebook. So you only show ads on Instagram. It's just a bit more native, sending people from Instagram to Instagram DMs. But up to you there. And then what I like to do is I like to call my ad sets 101, and then my next ad set will be 102, next ad set 103, and I might say what it is. So 101, let's say we're going to make story images. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. And this will all come together soon. So basically just have it in order. My first ad set's 101, then the next week when I create another one, it's going to be 102, next ad set's going to be 103, you get the point. So it's just easy for me to see when I created certain things. And the story images tell me that, okay, I'm going to be uploading story images as ads, meaning ads for Instagram's stories. Cool. And then what I like to do here is keep the ads flexible. So have flexible ads. And then we're going to select our ads or images or videos. And I said we're going to have story images. So I'm just going to give you an example of what that might look like. We might have 1, 2, 3. And you can see that what I'm doing here is testing the same ad copy, so the same text, but with 3 different images. So you can see I have binge eating sucks. I help women stop binge eating or they don't pay. Very similar to what I showed you before. It's an offer heavy ad. We're calling out to our ideal audience by saying binge eating sucks. So only people who binge eat would be like, oh yeah, sorry, I'm going to read this ad. There's heaps of ways to call out. Do you struggle with binge eating? That's maybe a bit too personal and Facebook might ban you for that, but it might be fine. But if you say binge eating sucks, people who don't struggle with binge eating, they're just going to skip that out. They're going to go to the next thing. But people who do have problems with binge eating will stick around and read. I help women stop binge eating or they don't pay. There's the offer. DM me the word binge to learn more. That's the call to action. And for each of these ads, 1, 2, and 3, it's the exact same text, but just 3 different images on the screen. That's it. So what we're doing is we're testing here. We want each ad set is the 101. Each group of ads, you just want to have 2, maybe 3 ads in there that are very similar with just one variation. And maybe that variation is the color of something, the backgrounds, the background image. But typically you want to have the same text, because if I want, maybe I call this 101, let's call it binge eating sucks ads. So now I know when I'm looking that this ad set is for the binge eating sucks ads, because if we go to the ads, they're the binge eating sucks ads. You get the point. And that's my flexible ads right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to write a primary text. It can be like, I hated struggling with binge eating. It ruined my life for 6 years. But then I discovered the undiet method, which is, don't use that, that's our company name. It helped me to completely, I'm not going to spell check, stop binge eating within just a few months. If you also want to learn, learn more about the undiet method, then DM me the word binge. Bang. That's it. That's just an example of what you might write in the primary text. And that's going to be what happens in the little caption section. So you can see this is what your ad will look like on Instagram feed. By the way, if you are creating it, make sure you have the text that's not going to be cut off. So if I have an Instagram story like this, you don't want the text to be up here and down here, because if that goes onto Instagram's feed, it will get cut off because it won't show, if that makes sense. So make sure that text is somewhere near the center of the image if you're doing images or your video, or if you're doing a video, make sure the captions are somewhere near the middle. And then I would recommend testing 2 or 3 primary texts. So never just test one thing. In a flexible ad format, you can test a few different ad formats. So then I might have another one that says, I don't know, something slightly different. I might just have a different hook, for example. So I hated struggling with binge eating. I'm going to change that to binge eating sucks. That's literally what it says in the ad. There you go. So all I've changed is the hook here. I hated struggling with binge eating. Binge eating sucks. It ruined my life for 6 years. Done. And you might want to test a third one here. Then what you would do is you'd look at the results and see which of these 2 perform better. And whatever one performs better, you would just use that in the next ad, scrap the loser, and test a new primary text or 2. So you just keep taking the winner. Test 2 things, see what works, what doesn't, scrap the loser, take the winner, test another thing, scrap the loser, keep doing that, and then your ads will gradually get better and better and better over time. And that's it. That's how I would create a flexible ad set. Your call to action is going to be send an Instagram message. And then for the message template here, what we're going to do is we're going to click edit template, and then we're going to say, want to stop binge eating or whatever your problem is. Let's do back pain. Want to fix your back pain? DM me, click the word pain below to get started. And you might even put their name in there. Hey John, or whatever their name is, first name of a recipient. Hey James, want to fix your back pain? Click the word pain below to get started. And then we're going to only have one question. In the frequently asked questions section, we're going to have one, and it's going to be your keyword, pain. Just like that. And now it's going to look like this. They click on an ad, they go to this little page, they see your DMs, they see this thing saying, hey James, want to fix your back pain? Click the word pain below to get started. And then they see this message saying pain. And if they click it, then it will say, thanks so much. I will be in touch with you soon to chat more about this. Please wait a few minutes. Please wait a little while for me to be available or something. Doesn't matter what you're going to say here, but you basically want to tell them, hey, I want to speak to you. The human me wants to speak to you. I will be in contact soon. And that's it. And then for a follow-up message, that's just going to be an automated message that Facebook sends if they stop responding. I'm just going to turn it off for now. And then you would preview this on Instagram, see what it looks like, make sure everything works and looks okay. Once it looks good, then you can click save, and that's it. You have that, you have the keyword, they click send, and then we go, after they click send, we go to this section here. Where is it? Here, of jumping in and saying, hey, John, thanks so much for reaching out. And then we go to that DM template. And that's the strategy, guys. And yes, you keep testing ads. Don't just launch some ads once and be like, okay, I'm done. We're all good here. We're all good on the hood. This is going to work, because that's the guaranteed way to not see success with paid advertising. You need to test, and test some more. That being said, that is just one strategy that we use to help our clients generate clients. So to help our health coaches to generate clients for themselves using the DM funnel. We teach heaps of different strategies and a lot of long-term strategies as well. And if you want more strategies, and if you want us to help you create these ads and build everything out and work out exactly who you should target and the best offer for you, more ad strategies, help you with your ads, all that kind of stuff, then the best thing to do right now is to click that link on the screen or go to this link, healthcoachgrowthhub.com/strategy-call, and book a strategy call with me or someone from my team. On this call, we will go through a few things. We will break down your business in a bit more detail, see what it is that's keeping you stuck, and we will put in place a pathway for you moving forwards. And if any of our programs or services are right for you, we might tell you about them and bring you into our world if you are the right fit. If you are already one of our amazing clients, then I hope you got some value out of this video. Go out there and watch many of the other videos that we have that are going to help you to grow your business. But even if you're not a client, then still implement everything I told you in this video. You will see amazing results, I promise you. I hope you found this video valuable. Apart from that, go out there, make some money and get some clients. And I will see you in the next video. Adios.